This week's episode is brought to you by Salt Creek, some of the best steel and TSS on the market, and Kicks Industries. The Smoke Series is my favorite. Welcome back. Welcome back to this week's YouTube Live and the podcast. My name is RD. Hopefully, y'all having a good week. It's still a killer hot out there. I mean, it is something else. Hopefully everybody's doing good, staying hydrated. Man, if you in the lower part of the states, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, y'all getting a lot of rain. I saw where a possible tornado went across Six Flags over Georgia sometime this morning. I think it was around 9 a.m. So pretty crazy, especially that early. But hopefully everybody's doing good. Tonight we got a topic that some of us, probably me, need to be already getting on top of. Is 10 things every hunter should be doing before opening day. And you're going to say, man, we got plenty of time before opening day. Do we? Now just think, we just celebrated July 4th. Well, today's the 15th. That means we're halfway through July, and then it's August. When September rolls around, that opens up a lot of hunting for a lot of people. So tonight we're going to be talking about 10 things hunters should be doing. I should be doing some of these myself. So again, this is going to be talking about all the seasons that's going to be coming open. If you're chasing doves, that's typically what starts off hunting season. And then it goes into deer, and then geese, and then teal, and then waterfowl season comes around. But these are just tips. These are just tips on what we should be doing to get ready for waterfowl season and hunting just in general. If we use and do all this, you'll be ready and have a successful season. But tonight I want to talk about it. I want to start the chat off with, what season are you most excited about? I get excited with dove season. When dove season comes around, typically that's September. It's usually like opening weekend of September. I get excited because I hadn't been hunting since February? Late goose. No, I think that went into a little bit of March, but we hadn't been hunting since then. So I'm ready to get back into it. What states are you hunting? Definitely South Carolina. Georgia. We'll be hunting Georgia this year. And Michigan. That's right. Me and Tony's going to be going up to Michigan in October. And we're going to be hunting the Great Lakes. I don't understand why it's called a lake, because that is not a lake. That's like an ocean. But that's right, dove for 30 days and then duck. That's right, Jay. It's about on us, man. It is about on us, and that's what we're talking about tonight. But we're planning on going up to Michigan and hunting the Great Lakes, and then somewhere, I think around January, our buddy Matt has got us on a hunt down in Georgia. Hopefully, going for some kings. I cannot think of the name of that lake down in the bottom of Georgia. It's right on the Georgia, Alabama, Florida Lake Sonoma. That just doesn't, it could be some Sonoma, but that might not be right. It's something like that. I'm not going to look it up, but it's definitely like something like that. And this is where the kings love to go during wintertime. So maybe we get on it. It would be nice to have a king up there in my diver section. But what's one thing that you still need to get done? So one thing that I need to get done, I need some more corn out for my deer. Sonoma. I think I said that right, Jay. Isn't that right? Sonoma. But yeah, it's down there in the bottom part of Georgia. It's actually in Georgia, and I think it goes in a little bit of Alabama, but it ain't too far from the Florida line. It's supposed to be the Mac Daddy of all locations, but we shall see. Uh, right now is a good time on step one, so we're gonna do 10 steps tonight. Might be the only time we do 10 steps. I need to do more than 10 steps. I didn't know which phone that was. I need to do more than 10 steps. You know, I need to do a couple steps so I can be in shape for this season, but probably ain't going to happen. But step one, you need to check your hunt license and regulations. Typically, they renew or start over in July. Uh, some states go July. Some states license start um, whenever you purchase them. Usually, sometimes it's a year. Now, waterfowl, deer, stuff like that is totally different. But hunting and fishing, usually, definitely fishing go a whole year. But they start over in July. In South Carolina, our rules and regulations start over in July. Our fishing and hunting and stuff go for a whole year. And that's whenever you buy it. But our rules and regulations start July. We don't even have a Cadillac. We don't have a Cadillac. I got a Cadillac boat though. Look at that Cadillac cattail. That's what I'm talking about. Our catalog for South Carolina has not even been published yet. Why? I have a reason or a feeling why I think it's a reason, but our catalog usually only gets published sometime around August. Um, so DNR is a state ran department. Typically, all state departments or organizations or whatever you want to call them, divisions, they run July physical budget year. So I think they don't put the books out at the beginning of July is because that's a new budget year, which still blows my mind is why they don't put the digital copy out. That's free. They already got the website. Why can't they post the PDF online? I mean, what? Let's just say 60% of the people probably go there anyway. But with that being said, they have changed some of the laws in South Carolina this year. The red drum, that went in effect July 1st. Deer tags basic set effective July 1. What is a basic set? I don't know. I can't click it. Blue catfish effective May 15th, 2026. And WA raccoon dog training season effective July 1st. What is on their website says the 26-27 hunting and fishing regulation guide is currently under development and will be available online and printed around August. The following regulations were enacted during the 26 legislation. Boy, I maybe should have got an extra sip of water tonight. I'm done with that. When they were in the when they were in the House and the Senate, there you go, legislative, there we go, session, and now in effect. But there's no links. Like you can't click it. It doesn't like tell you anything. But way down on the page when you scroll, there's a hey, click here to learn about the new regulations. And when you click on it, there's nothing there. Like, let me show you. Let me show y'all that I ain't making up. All right, so here is the rules. This is where they say, hey, they're now in effect, and you come here, new catfish and drum. Click here to learn, and I'm clicking. Maybe you can hear that, but I don't know. I don't know where they got that at. I'm sure somewhere on the website is buried somewhere, but where the information is, I don't know. But hopefully, before too long, the magazines will be out. And usually, when the magazines drop, that's when they post it online. Now, was there some kind of law written that they can't publish the PDF until people can have a paper copy? I mean, there could be some regulation that says that. I don't know. There could be a reason why they don't post it online, but I, that's never made sense to me, and that's been many, many years. So now's the time to talk about license. So make sure you get it. Make sure that you know where you're going. What state um may have changed. So I'm sending a text. So what changed in the state that you're planning to go to? Like I'm planning to go to Georgia. Did Georgia's laws change? Did Michigan's laws change? You need to look into that. Now's the time to do it because you don't want to let the time sneak up on you. Did the bag limits change? We don't know yet for South Carolina, but some have. Have you ever shown up and realized you forgot something? Um, Depending on which state you went in, that could be difficulty to find. Um, Say you forgot your shotgun shells and you're out in the middle of who knows where. Yeah, that's a bad day. So, step two tonight, it's time to pattern your shotguns. Get your bows and rifles sighted in. Thank you.
What's up? What's up?
Look at that hole in that shirt. What is that?
That's chocolate.
Oh my goodness, it was chocolate. Did y'all see that DoorDash? Maybe next time I can order something to eat. Got a tickle in my throat tonight. So now's the time to pull the old guns out, get them sighted in, get your shells and chotes lined up. You know, I got a new camera, trail camera now that I showed y'all a couple months ago. It's a Wi-Fi trail camera. It's just like your cellular trail camera, but it works off Wi-Fi, like your house, your hunting club, anywhere that you got um Ovaltine. No, that sounds like remember Little Orphan Annie, the Christmas story. Uh, but this Wi-Fi camera is amazing, and I'm talking about it's got some distance, and it has a rechargeable lithium battery with a solar panel, and it hasn't even dropped below 80%. Like when the sun, the storm, nothing. Now's the time to start getting your cameras out there because deer season's just right around. And I got a monster on there. Now, when I say it's a monster, some people are gonna be like, that ain't a monster. But I thought pretty daggone good that this is I don't live in a subdivision, but it's kind of residential. It's definitely residential. But let me show you all this. And it would be amazing to get that to come up on the camera over there. But look at this right here. Well, know why my deer camera didn't come up. Well, y'all seeing my lesson for tonight. Let's see here. We'll try it again. I want to show y'all a picture of this deer. Let's try this again. First time here. All right, so look at that. That is a nice deer. Like, if now this that deer is probably at least 20 feet away from the camera. 71 degrees at 3 a.m. in the morning. How crazy is that? How hot it is at 3 a.m. in the morning. But if we can definitely tell that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can count 7. Now, how big is this one right here? Is that 8? Is there any more on there? Ooh, I don't know. But this one showed up. This is the first time this buck has been on camera. Now, like I said, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And depending on that one, all the other views that the camera took, other than the video, um, was he was just not in the right spot. Um, I hope to get some more of that. So, like I said, now is the time to get your cameras out there, get them charged up, get them out there. And I tell you, no joke, on this live over here, uh, our buddies, our buddies that at the Rutten and Rock, the peanut butter and the other flavor that I've been putting out on the salt and the brown one, the mineral, have been some massive deer coming up and licking that stuff, and it is real thick. Rain does not wash it off. It is very thick. I don't know if, let's see, you might can see it. No, you can see where it's ran down the side here, but they have licked that completely clean. I'm talking about clean as a whistle, and there's been a bunch of does around that. So y'all definitely need to get up with him. Go check out them videos of the Rutten Rock and all the other stuff that he's been coming out with. He's got a lot of stuff going on. His name is David. Go check him out. But now's the time to get all that stuff sighted in, like your crossbow, your arrows. So many deer hunters take their rifles out of their wherever they got them and sight them in. But when dove season comes around or waterfowl season comes in, they never pattern their shotgun. What's any difference? Why do you only pattern the rifle? You gonna say scope? Okay, well that kind of makes sense. But did the ammo that you bought for your shotgun this year, did it change? Did you change brands? They totally pattern different. So that's just my recommendation. Pattern your chokes. A missed animal is often equipment we never tested, and that goes with chokes and shooting different distances. Um, so number 3 tip for tonight: inspect every piece of gear. Now is the time to check your waders. Not when the water's 30 degrees. Now's a good time to probably get a good deal on a set of waders. Decoy lines, headlamps. I mean, who can't have enough headlamps? I mean, I always like headlamps. Batteries. Most of my stuff is now swapped over to lithium, like rechargeable. I don't have too many things these days that are like double A's and C's and D's. Uh, yeah, Jonas, that is a big old duck. Is that creamy or chunky peanut butter? it's it's powder. Uh, I'm not sure I want to. I'm not sure I would want to eat that. It smells really good though. And pull up, see which camera it is. Oh, maybe you can't see it on camera. That might be no. But what I can do is I can grab it. So, with that being said, this is some awesome stuff. This is the Rutten Rock peanut butter. There's all kinds of different flavors. And this is from Raging Boar Outdoors. Y'all can check that out. But this is the powder type. There's powders, there's blocks. I really like the syrup. There's one that smells like you would want to put it on your pancakes. I am not gonna lie to you. It is. I want to when I go put it out, and I'm telling you it works. Take my word for it. Game cameras. when was the last time you deleted all the photos on it? Safety harnesses. A lot of us men don't like to do the safety harness until you fall out. Backpacks. Now it's the time to clean them out. You don't want any spiders up in there. I'm telling you, I would say ticks. It is still tick season, especially in dove season. But you don't want to get bit by no spider. I'm still recouping from that. But yeah, what's the oldest piece of gear that you still use? That's interesting. I'm gonna have to think on that one. That was a good question. What's something you have that maybe has been passed on from generation to generation? Is it a hat? Is it a certain bag? Now I can say, um, my father probably didn't leave me anything hunting related. He hunted mostly deer. And most of you know that I was in my good late 30s, close to 40s before I ever got into waterfowl hunting. Jay Bird says rifle. Yeah, that's something. Um, is it a piece of clothing? It's a good question. I don't know that if I got anything that I carry all the time. Because when I grew up, my grandfather was mostly into fishing. Behind me here is his life jacket and a fishing rod. He was a big time fisherman. Now, way back in the day, well before I was ever thought of, like maybe back before my mother was ever thought of. They hunted a lot of pheasants and quail. Uh, but as for me growing up, it was a deer hunting family. So, like duck calls, turkey calls, none of that was passed on down because nobody in my family uh, did any kind of bird hunting. It was up till maybe 16, maybe 17 until the first time I went dove hunting. And if Jonas is still in here, he was the first person I ever dove hunted with, and we were in high school, and it had to be um, around 16 because I know we were probably driving at that time, but first generation wing shooter here, whoop, or misser, I don't know, whichever way. Hey, I miss just like the rest of y'all do, so don't act like y'all big time um, knocking them down. I seen the way y'all shoot. Jones says a knife. Now I have to say, my kids will get a nice collection of something. It's either taxidermy, decoys, duck calls, uh, a half cut boat. Um, so they gonna have stuff. It might end up in the pawn shop, but they might have stuff. Maybe one day one of these end up at Bass Pro Shop. But step 4 of the 10 tonight is scouting instead of guessing. How many times do we guess? I mean, how many times are you like me? Well, I'm just gonna go set up in this field. This is where the geese always are. I'm gonna go set up in this field for the doves because the doves just come here. Well, what happens if they don't? Do you have a plan B? Um, what happens when you have doves and you cut the field and now everything's gone? What happens last year and the year before, there's a lot of bucks around because there was a bunch of acorns, and this year maybe there ain't no acorns. So scouting now is the best time. Looking for fresh deer rubs, scrapes, food sources. if you planted early, it's probably dead. Now, if you planted late, we have been getting rain lately, but this is some of the craziest heat that I've recall. Watching for flight pass. There's a lot of flight pass. You can start paying attention to this now for early goose in September. Start locating the fields. Teal. Now I have to say, we do have a early teal in South Carolina, or we did. 2 years ago, it was 2 weeks. Last year, it was 8 days. What are we going to get this year? Don't know because we ain't got the rules and regulations yet. I'm hoping we're going to get one, but teal is definitely harder because teal in South Carolina is usually towards the coast and they're here today and gone tomorrow. So if you started scouting for teal now, I can guarantee you they're probably not going to be there when season comes in. And it's too hot right now for teal anyway. But teal like shallow water and just watch for them landing a little early. Now I have to say, I seen a lot of whistling ducks this year. We do not have an early whistling duck season. Louisiana just started an early whistling duck season, but they are in season during our regular waterfowl season. So what's that mean? Are we going to see more of them? I hope so. They're very interesting to hear flying. That's where they get their name, whistling. Kind of like a dove, when a dove takes off that, and then like wood ducks, they got that sound right when they're coming in. Whistling ducks do the same thing. They whistle when they're flying. It is very cool. You know, right now may be a little bit early to start scouting for ducks because water levels, oh man, it's just starting to be hurricane season. We got this weird tropical, who knows what it is, off the coast of Florida right now. And it's just weirdly spinning in Georgia and Alabama right now, which is really good because half the southeast needs the rain and they're getting it. But it is very weird on how it's dumping so much rain. There's a chance that something could form, not hurricane. I don't think hurricane, but there's not much difference between a depression and a storm other than winds. So where's that going to land? I don't know, but like I said before, now's a good time to get your generators fired up. Remember, boots on the ground beat scrolling on Facebook. Now I see it all the time. People be like, "Hey, where's that in Facebook?" Or where was this location at? I saw you post this on Facebook. There ain't nobody gonna tell you. Now we'll harp on something I've been talking about. There's a lot of men, and I'm sure there's some women too, but I'm just gonna go for the men here because a lot of y'all men are some excellent hunters. I'm talking about like excellent gamesmen. Some of y'all is gonna take a lot of your secrets to the grave, and I understand that, but some of y'all could be teaching our next generation some of your sportsman traits or some of the stuff that has helped you along the way. That goes back to the meet the people at the boat ramp. This is an opportunity where you can meet people, new people. You can find new friends. I met a lot of friends at the boat ramp. This is where you could witness to people. There's some stuff that you can share with the younger generation that may not give your secrets out of where to go hunt, but there's plenty of places that that are good. That's game management. Somebody young, you could say, here's you a pin drop. This would be a good starting point. Give them something to look for. But there are so many people that don't want to share nothing. Down the road by the big pine. I know where that pine tree is. So step 5, practice shooting, not just one box of shells. Now, I'm not saying that with TSS or some of this waterfowl stuff, but dove season is a good time to start practicing for waterfowl season. They move about the same speed. Granted, you can't use lead for waterfowl, but you're using the same gun pretty much. Some people do use the same gun. What I tend to see like to do, use the same feet per second for skeet, for dove, and waterfowl. So my lead time should be the same regardless of what species I'm hunting. But get out there. Crossing shots, especially for waterfowl. I mean, heck, by the end of the season, that's about all we getting. They're not decoying here in South Carolina. People talk about that all the time. Oh, why don't you get them in the decoys? Man, come to South Carolina and try to get some of them wood ducks late season decoy. Yeah, good luck. Deer, practice now on how to climb on your new tree stand. Now how to do your trying to think of the new, it ain't a sling, saddle. That's right, saddle hunters. I'm not one of them. I want to be in a deer stand with possibly a leather seat and air conditioning, because I don't like the heat. Are the mosquitoes, are the chiggers, are the ticks. Not a big deer hunter, but that big old buck on camera's kind of excited me a little bit. Start practicing now elevation. You can climb a tree in your front yard and start practicing with your bow now. Muscle memory. How many times have you messed up in the tree stand? I'd be one of them. I forgot to load my shotgun. Two big old does come out, pull the trigger, click. Well, there ain't no does out there no more, and there ain't no shell in my shotgun. So, practice the way you should climb, practice the way you set your tree stand up, practice how you do your saddle, and not only practice in the sunlight, you need to practice in the dark too. You need to go up and stay there a little bit and come down in the dark, because you don't want the first time you come down in the dark in a saddle, it will be the first time you go out. You might come down, you might have a tree rub all the way down your belly, but I'm just saying, start practicing now. Step 6, prepare your vehicle, boat, and trailer. That's what I did. I prepared my truck. I got rid of one truck and upgraded to, the Super Honda. Boy, have I caught some heck about that Super Honda this week. But I'm just saying, leather seats, sunroof, 4-wheel drive, same bed size as the Silverado with the toolbox. The Honda has a toolbox in it. If you haven't watched that video of the Honda, it's very surprising. There's a lot of room in the back of that thing. That crew cab, I'm just saying, my big old 6'2", 250 can sit in the back and my knee not touch the front seat where I'm the driver, and don't even move the seat up for the passengers. That tells you there's a lot of room, and cup holders. So, now's the time to check your tires. You need some new mud tires. Maybe it's time to talk the wife in and letting you get some new mud tires. Be like, honey, I probably could get back there and get that big old deer if I had some new Super Swampers. I'd hate to know what a set of Super Swampers right now costs. Woo, boy. Well, that'd be a check right there. That wouldn't even be a check. You might would have to go take out a loan. But, check out your lights, your batteries. Batteries just don't die in the wintertime. I had one die on the tractor about a month ago. Last time I used it, it crunked right up. Not a single problem. Went out there just a couple days later, nothing. It wouldn't charge up. It wouldn't jump off. I'm talking about dead as a 2x4. Um, Savings on gas will buy a double cheese every trip. Yeah, you're right. That Honda is going to save me on fuel, especially on the road trips. Boat plugs, a lot of them are dried out. Fuel, make sure your registration is right on your boat. Spare tire, that's another thing that is on my list to get this year. My waterfowl boat does not have a spare tire, so that is something that is definitely going to get done. Um, so tell what's a funny story about forgetting to put the drain plug in? I mean, I think if you had a boat other than a pontoon, I think probably everybody's done it at least once. I know we've done it. Uh, if, and that's a if you got enough people, if you forget to take the plug or put the plug in, if you can get the boat going and get it up on plane, most of the water will run out the back and go out. So if you are taking on water, if you can start moving, you will at least start not taking on more water. But once that back end's down, boy, it's all she wrote. But just don't forget to take your plug out. Just like earlier I said, muscle memory. If you take it out, maybe hang it with your keys so when you pick your keys up, it has to be on there. Come up with some kind of memory of, hey, this needs to be done. Organizing step 7, organizing your hunting pack. Don't wait to 4 a.m. First aid kits, definitely. Some kind of tourniquet, or at least know how to use a tourniquet. How do you use your belt? Super easy. How can I use my belt? And somebody gonna be like, "Ooh, that's a big old belt." How can I use this belt? So this is easy. If you took this belt, and I should be able to do it myself, I could pull this up on my arm, and that is not going to get it done. Is that better than anything? Maybe till you pass out. But if you took a belt, and I don't have a stick, but if you took a stick and put in here with your tourniquet, let's just put it there, and then you twist the stick like that, that's going to twist that belt up. Maybe not pull the belt so tight, but that way the belt can twist and do a tourniquet. What else can you use? It would hurt like I'll get out, but at least you wouldn't die. Your shoelace. Same thing. Take a shoelace, put a stick in it, and use that as your twisting thing. If you ever saw a tourniquet, they have a T-shaped kind of handle. Use a stick, not a dead one. And don't be trying to get a live one while your buddy's over there bleeding. But, there's plenty of stuff that's probably around you at some point that you can build a tourniquet. You just want to at least slow the blood down. Practice some of that survival stuff. What not to eat. Don't eat three leaf vegetation. Don't wipe with it. Extra shells. In my turkey bag, I keep an extra shell or extra couple shells in there because I have got out of the truck and made it to the field and forgot I left my shells in the truck. Same way with regular hunting. But be careful with that on game management because some game management you can only have so many shells. So don't get caught with that. Gloves, rain gear, GPS, insect spray. Yes. Now, deer hunters, I know that, hey, I'm not putting any bug spray on me because the deer can smell it. Understand that. They make a lot of stuff that can go on a thermal cell that not only has the thermal cell keeping the mosquitoes away, but also puts other scents out as you're sitting there, like pine and stuff like that. There's other stuff that you can use with your thermal cell. Toilet paper, that's a must. What's one thing that you forgot? I know this one. What's one thing that you have forgotten that almost or did ruin a hunt? TP. That's definitely one. But the biggest thing that I can recall is turkey hunting. Now I did get that Tom, and it was a heck of a Tom, and it is amazing mount. But I got out of the truck and I heard that joker gobbling on the limb. I'm like, oh yeah, it's gonna be on today. I start going across the field. He's gobbling his head off. It's that last day of the season. I'm talking about the last day. I ain't shot a single bird. I don't even recall even seeing one. I get down there. I get to the tree. It's almost fly down time. I forgot my call. Didn't have a box call. I had my pot that had no stick. I left it in the truck. I take off running. Now, when I say I took off running, I took off running, and I don't run. I sounded like Sasquatch going through the woods. If he was in a diesel Peterbilt hauling like 42 semis behind him, because I was huffing and puffing. Got to the truck, got my stick or striker. Let me call it the correct way, striker. And I ran back and I sit down and I started calling, and it was instant. He came over, but I can't do mouth calls because I just can't do them. I gag, can't do them. But that day was the last time I forgot my striker. My sling on my shotgun now is a rifle sling. And where the 3 extra bullets can go in your rifle, I keep strikers there because I'm telling you, when you turkey hunting, you sitting beside a tree and you put your stuff on the ground, you hear a turkey and you take off and run and gun. I've left a lot of stuff at a tree. A lot of times you go back and you get it, but so have a lot of people. They've put stuff down at a tree and just forgot it. You get focused on a turkey and you're gone. Yeah, that's one of the things that have definitely almost ruined the hunt for me. So, step 8, get yourself ready. How can we prepare? Exercise, 100%. Sleep. What's the one thing that we don't do during waterfowl season and turkey season? Sleep. When you hunt game management, you got to get up extra early. We stay out there. How many times have you been in a deer stand and you wonder how long I was asleep for? Yeah, we all been there. Walking, stretching, shoulder stretches, knee health. Don't blow your knee out. So staying healthy before season, especially for the older hunters. I'm almost there. Like I can almost see it. But yeah, we should start preparing. I say every turkey season, man, I'm gonna get in shape for turkey season. I can say it. It's like a New Year's resolution. I'm gonna lose weight before turkey season, but maybe this year. This year is different. I'm gonna work on it this year. Jay, I might take you up on some of that. I got a hack tonight for some reason. Mercy me. So number 9, respecting wildlife and other hunters. Man, there's so many people that leave their holes on the ground. Keep the place clean. Uh, respect the property lines. Um, it don't take much to go on private property or somebody else's lines. Even with Onyx, man, that can be off a little bit too. Be courteous at the boat ramp. Introduce yourself. Help new hunters. And everything. Or fishermen. are dove hunters. Hey man, your first time dove hunting? Yeah. Hey, did you check for a plug? No, I don't have a plug. Well, let's fix that. Or, hey, you might not want to use that. Would you like to use one of mine? We can help somebody out. Hey, did you get your migrated bird even for doves? Did you get that? Did you get your license? I mean, just simple questions can help young hunters. Um, just just help other people. That's one thing that a lot of people, and I'm just gonna go after the the Christians. A lot of people say, "Hey, I don't want to share my faith." I get it. It's very intimidating. What if they ask me a question? Also very intimidating. Don't be afraid to say, "Hey, I don't know that answer." If you don't know them, you be like, "Hey, give me your telephone number and I'll get an answer." Just don't lie to them. Don't make stuff up. What did Moses say? Oh, well, Moses said, uh, man, he said first thing when he got off the boat was, wow, let's eat some chicken. Don't make stuff up. If you don't know the answer, it's okay. There's 1,000,000,000 things in the Bible that I don't know. There's 1,000,000,000 things that I read in my younger days that now make different sense. So don't act like, what if they ask me something? Get back with them. A lot of people like to know that you're human. Hey, you make mistakes too. I make mistakes. You know, with that being said, with the rubber worms right there, that is something that I'm doing during waterfowl season. Um, it's got scripture on the back talking about, remember the good times fishing, just like remembering the good times in life, because there's going to be bad times. And, it's just a scripture on there. And I can hand them worms out and I can hand that pack to somebody face up and they never see the scripture. They might not see it then, but when they go to open it, they're going to see it. That gives you opportunity to be long gone by then. If you're don't like talking to people. One of the things that my buddy Matt is trying to accomplish this year, he has a bunch of stickers of Bible verses. He's wanting to take the Bible verses and put them on decoys and just randomly leave decoys, at certain boat ramps and hunting spots and, at the boat ramp tied, on a tree limb or something. So the person gets it, hey, they get a decoy, but they also get spiritual witnessing, and that's something they're going to remember. Hey, I remember getting this decoy while they're hunting with it that had this verse on it. It's not always about, you know, meeting the person right there. You can be setting seeds for something well down the road. So, step 10, pray and remember why we hunt. Why do we hunt? It ain't for meat. I mean, maybe for deer. Let's just say deer. Okay. Take deer out of it. Why do we hunt? It ain't for the meat. I can promise you that. Some people's going to be like, ask for the food. No, it ain't. If it was for the food, the what one box of shotgun shells, you could go to Tractor Supply and probably buy 6 chickens with them, raise them up and eat the chickens and probably have better food and more food than what you would get out of that box of shells. Especially dove hunting. Hey, you got to have a slew just to eat off of. Now, deer, totally different. That's a lot of meat. Totally different. And you can hunt over corn with deer. You can go, hey, I'm going to go hunting for deers. I'm going to get does. I'm filling the freezer up. That's a whole different thing. But to say I'm doing it just for food, for duck, I don't know if that's it. It's more about the time with family and friends. I love hunting and fishing with my buddies. I mean, same thing with fishing. My gosh, we'll put so much money in lures and tackle and a boat. Even if you didn't do a boat, just going different spots with gas and going over here on the river and fishing here, cane pole, rubber worms or real worms. It's caught a lot of fish. Do we have to have the? No, it's all about spending time with family and friends. That's it. And God's creation, we get to look at that every morning. I tried to explain that to so many people. Until you experience duck hunting and turkey hunting, deer is eh, deer is somewhat there. And I'm going to say this for the deer hunters. Y'all don't get to see the beautiful sunrises that us waterfowl and turkey hunters see. And you can be like, that's not right. Now, hear me out. So, for the most part, deer hunters are hunting in the woods. You don't get to see the sun in all of its glory because it's coming through the trees. Now, if you're in a big field, yes, you can. But when you own that water and the sun's coming up and all the birds are starting to talk, it is something else. And I know I take that for granted. Monday through Friday, typically, I never hardly pay any attention. Sun's usually up by the time I go to work. And when the sun is normally coming up, when I'm taking one of the kids to school, it's like, oh man, the sun's in my eyes. Oh, man. Oh. I don't never say that when I'm hunting. We overlook it because we're so rushed. We hunt to teach our kids and generations of fellowship and ability to be able to feed themselves if need be. Thankfulness. There's so many times that, I've seen men like, I'm not leaving the women out again, but I've seen tough men cry over hunting turkeys and our deer. A lot of times you see these animals on cameras and you're hunting with your father and he passes away and you successfully take that deer. That's very emotional. A lot of times with turkeys, same way. Very emotional. A lot of people, it strikes something inside of them. So, God's creation is something. I mean, it's amazing. We just didn't come from a frog out of the water. Um, these species of birds, all these species up there, I mean, that's just half of them. I mean, each one has a different color, different feathers. I mean, it's amazing. And one of our responsibilities as a human on this earth is to take care of them. And that's take care of them eating, that's managing them and protecting them. You know, same way with Ducks Unlimited. They're protecting the wildlife, stuff like that. But that's the reason why we hunt. We hunt to make memories. It's not about the limits. Hey, Jay Bird. All right, you be safe too, man. I'm about to wrap it up myself. So, what's the best beginner shotgun for somebody? You need to know that question or that answer because somebody's going to ask that. What's your favorite dove loads? 7.5s, 8s. I don't like 9s. What's the best budget waders? Public or private? We do both. What's the best broadheads? I couldn't tell you. Last time I shot a bow and arrow, the biggest company was called Bear. Yeah, I don't even know if they're even around. What's the best hunting dog breed? I'm going to be a little biased and say Boykin, but they all have their own species of what you're trying to do. Favorite hunting meal? Breakfast. Breakfast. Um, but yeah, now's the time to start talking about that. Now's the time to start talking to your buddies, start getting plans together, hunting trips together, setting stuff in motion. Um, but like I said earlier, to this week is going to be definitely some weather. I'm gonna pull the weather up because I always like to talk weather. Um, so with that being said, tidbit tropical tidbits is the site that I like to go to. Now, can I get this to pull up right this time this week? Who knows? Let's see. Hey, tropical tidbits here. So I like to come here and I like to look at the forecast model. And I know I say it all the time, but here's the date of our current model. It updates 4 times a week. But right here, this part of Georgia, Mississippi, the whole Mississippi River, that whole area is getting a lot of rain. This whole area is going to stay with a lot of moisture over the next couple of days. I mean, look at that coming off of New Mexico down here. Texas needs a lot of rain. A lot of moisture right up here in the Indiana area. A lot of moisture that's going to help the Mississippi River. But continue watching this model play out. Look at this one coming off of Florida here. This is on July 18th, so that's like Saturday, I think. 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 days away. We need to be paying attention to this right here because this right here is definitely going to do something. What's it going to do? A little too early, but look at that. South Carolina, we're going to definitely get some rain. One of these days I looked at, there's going to be a lot of storms rolling in. But this is the 24th out. Look at this. The Midwest, much needed rain. That's going to be on the 25th. Really a lot of rain on the 25th here. Like I said, now this is the 25th. This is a model. With that being said, it could speed up a day or it could slow down a day or it could slow down 2 days. But these models are pretty close on predicting it. It's just when did that show up that many days out? But look at that. I mean, that is so much needed moisture for all of us here in the South. I mean, oh my gosh, if it could just cool us down. I mean, these 100 days, 100-degree days on top of the humidity is terrible. I mean, like terrible. But hopefully y'all have a good rest of the week. That's about all I got for you tonight. One thing I want to close in on, and again, what I like to do is I like to read some kind of story or something Bible related verse, then try to tie it into waterfowl or hunting in general. And I came across this last week. Like I said, read a lot of the Bible. A lot of times put stuff, read it, and it didn't make a whole lot of sense. And you know, a lot of times, I always, back in my younger days, I'd say the Israelites were really stupid for walking around in the desert for 40 years. And now that I'm mid 40, I kind of look at myself and I'm like, wow, I have done a lot of wandering myself. I'm no better than they are. Maybe, maybe we're on to something. But this story here, heard it a 1,000 times probably. Maybe not 1,000. The story of Abraham and Isaac. Everybody knows that story probably. Abraham took his son up the mountain. Nah. If you already got that far, you done missed it. Yep, just like me. I missed it. So God was testing Abraham. That's not the part I'm getting to. God was testing Abraham to see if he would sacrifice his only promised son. That part's key. So God told Abram, hey, take your son, your only son, Isaac, who you love, and offer him there a burnt offering, offer him as a burnt offering on one of the mountains. Okay, well, I knew that. Moriah. Didn't know that. Why that mountain? Did you know that mountain was 80 days? 80 days. Not 80 days. 80 miles from where he was. Did you know that it took him 3 days to get there? How old was Isaac? He wasn't a teenager. He was probably still pretty young. So Isaac had to carry the wood for the sacrifice up the mountain. That's pretty key. I knew that. You can't have a sacrifice if you don't have the wood. But God told him to go do it on a mountain. He was like, what mountain? He was like, I'll let you know when you get there. Okay. Okay, God, I got you. He sets out. So Isaac's carrying the wood on his back up the mountain of Moriah. Isaac asked, where's the lamb for this burnt offering? Abraham replied, God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. So Abraham, we all know, Abraham takes the knife and he's fixing to do it, and God says, no, stop. I'm going to provide a ram or some kind of something for you to take that. We all know that. And so his son didn't get sacrificed. So Abram's named that place, the Lord will provide. So why did that mountain matter? I don't know. Well, I do know now, but I didn't know then. I thought that was the end of the story. That ain't the end of the story. This is where I learned at 46. So later on, let's say, I don't know, like close to 2,000 years, Simon began to build his house of the Lord in Jerusalem on the Mount of Moriah. Wow, that's very interesting. So this identifies the mountain where the temple would eventually stand in that area. So Jesus was crucified on the mountain that was outside of Jerusalem walls, which most of the people believe Golgotha was part of the Moriah Ridge of the mountain area. Though the Bible doesn't say they were the exact same mountain. Don't say that. But also remember, Abraham had to walk 80 miles away. How crazy is the same, possibly same mountain area that he was going to go sacrifice his only son? That sounds very interesting. Some 2,000 years later, where Jesus carried the cross for his father to do a sacrifice on that mountain? Wow. Sounds like the exact same story. But he was the ultimate sacrifice. Never have I put them two together. 46. Very interesting. So, Abraham, he loved his son. God loved his son. Abraham was going to do it. God had to do it. God offered his only son. Isaac carried the wood. Jesus carried the cross. Isaac went willingly. Jesus went willingly. God provided a substitute. Jesus became the substitute for us sinners, so that we didn't have to do it. He did it for us, just like the ram was for Isaac. 3-day journey. Wow. It's funny. 3 days later, Jesus went on a journey and he rose again. Wow. I mean, how did anybody ever put these two together? Probably not, because you read over here and then like way over here, sometime later, is a different story. How crazy is that? One day we'll know. I don't know. Was it the same mountain? Sounds very interesting to me. Again, I'm not a scholar. I can only put stuff together as much as me and the internet allowed me to get there. But for what I found is very, very interesting how close the mountain is. And it was called the Mountain of Skulls. So definitely, if you like that story, I definitely would say go read more up on it. When Abraham said God himself will provide a lamb. That's what he did. He provided a lamb for us, and his name was Jesus. So just know that Jesus died on the cross for us, for our sins. It's pretty neat. Pretty neat how the Bible just paints a pretty picture. I mean, just how pretty nature is outside. Just imagine how pretty it's going to be one day in his presence. And if you don't know him, I ask that you do some soul searching. You can find this man that I call Jesus. I could tell you a lot about Jesus. So something that I didn't mention this week, and definitely got to get some tissue on this one. So it had to be about this time last year. Very close to this time last year was when my wife found out she had cancer. Just went in for colonoscopy, came out, cancer, didn't know how bad it was. They said prepare for surgery. Miracle after miracle. They took out 8 inches of her colon and 26-ish lymph nodes. I didn't know there was that many lymph nodes around each organ of your body, but hey, there's a lot of lymph nodes around each one. All them lymph nodes that they took out, they also tested, and all of them came back negative with cancer. So that was almost a year ago. So about a month ago, she found a lump coming up under her arm, and it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as soon as you say lump, you know what comes in somebody's head. Oh goodness, it's done. It's done spread. It's done got worse. We over here praying. For the most part, I'm pretty open on the channel. I try not. I like to tell people about my story. So last week, she went and had a scan. So we had to wait all weekend for the report to come in. Somewhere around Monday afternoon, it came back, and it was just a swollen lymph node. Praise God on that. A lot of prayer. Another miracle. Got a new microphone stand this week. I don't know if y'all noticed that. But you want to know what my Jesus and my God does? Whew. We're gonna need more than an hour. I can promise you that. But since she had a cold a month ago, and there's so many lymph nodes missing, that one lymph node is swollen, and it's going to take some time to it ain't going to heal, but what lymph nodes do, they fight viruses and stuff. But praise God that it was nothing cancerous. And if you don't know who Jesus is, I definitely tell you you need to find him, because you never know. You never know. Is this your last season of hunting? Is this your last season to duck hunt with your best friend? Is it the last season your friend can duck hunt with you? Why's it got to be on this close-up camera when I'm crying? What's up with that? Why can't it be like that? I got that kind of power. Hey, nope. Let's go to the other one. Somewhere there's a there's a further away camera. Okay, I almost give up. There we go. Now you can't see my tears. You might can hear it, but it's a hard world, and having the opportunity to be able to talk to our Heavenly Father through Jesus Christ makes a world of difference. So this week, y'all stay very hydrated, very safe. Hopefully, I've been making some changes in the podcast room. Got a new microphone, got a new camera. I got some new lights. I mean, look how awesome these geese look. I'm not even, I ain't even gonna lie. I love my geese. Like, these are like favorite. I can't wait to get some more from the taxidermist. Like this one right here, that black thing of a picture frame. I can't wait to show y'all that. Whenever that goose is ready, that's gonna be legit. Probably one of my favorites too. So I'm not. Ain't. I was gonna hang it up, but it looks really cool right there. So more on that to come when it comes. So I'm gonna close this in prayer. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for giving us the outdoors. Thank you for giving us jobs and opportunities to be outdoors. Thank you for our friends. Thank you for everything you provide for us. Thank you for allowing my wife's results to come back good this week. I got a I got another family member that could definitely use some prayers this week. God, be with our military. There's so much going on overseas. There's so much uncertainty going on over there in the strait. Protect our soldiers. Protect the families here. Lord, be with our country. Our country's. Some days I can't even feel like I can't even recognize it. But thank you for sending your son, your only son, not only to carry the cross on his back, but to carry all my sin, all my children's sin, all their children's sin, all my family and friends' sin. And he accomplished something that we never could accomplish ourselves. And I thank you for everything you do. In Jesus Christ, amen. Glad it's still on that camera. So, y'all have a good week, and I'll see y'all next week. So, here's a word from our sponsors. Go check your license, make sure you're not out of date. See ya.
Matthew Knight with Satura Investors out of Charlotte. There's the information. The link to his website is scrolling across the banner down at the bottom, and it's also in the description. Today's episode is about helping business owners and working professionals like you who share a passion for the outdoors shooting sports, zeroing them in to their long-term financial goals. So if you need any information or contact or any other questions, contact Matthew. Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC, has partnered up with the channel. It is your go-to provider for all your hauling needs. They are not just any hauling service. They are an active DOT interstate hotshot hauling provider. Flint Ridge Service, LLC, prides itself in its reliable transportation services. This team ensures that your cargo is delivered safely and on time no matter the distance. Whether you need to transport goods across the county or state line, they have the capacity and the expertise to meet your hauling needs. Equipped with a smooth riding 40-foot air ride equipped trailer and a max hauling capacity of 20,000 pounds, there's no load too big or too small that they can't handle. Look no further than Flint Ridge Hauling Service, LLC.